kids have so much pressure on them these days in school, and it's really getting to a lot of them. So they are feeling very anxious, and whether it's tests or just general schoolwork. Tutoring has become very popular with parents who probably also want to give their kids a head start. Well, the Tutor Doctor is here. We've got the president of Tutor Doctor, Frank Milner, on the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
Why do you think kids are getting so anxious? Is it pressure from the parents, the school, or is it pressure they're putting on themselves?
Well, there's a lot of pressure these days on kids, whether it's to get high scores, whether even to get into higher education. You know, getting an A today isn't good enough. So there's pressure coming from everywhere, and it's natural for kids to feel anxious before taking a test.
Yeah, because you're worried. Oh, man, you're just worried you're going to completely blank.
Exactly.
And how young are you seeing this anxiety start to emerge?
Oh, it starts really young. It starts, you know, ages 6. It's amazing how young we begin to help kids with these sorts of things.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the good news pieces of the story is you are here to help. So when kids are blanking, when kids are struggling, parents call you, and where do they go from there?
Well, you know, we've been in business for a long time helping kids, and we've gathered information from several recent studies on how to help kids overcome some of these anxieties. And of course, we are the Tutor Doctor, so we put together a first aid kit of kinds to help kids get through these sorts of things. So
like a little anti-anxiety kit.
Exactly. So the first item here is just a little notebook. You know, studies show that simply by having the kids journal about their fears and their anxieties, getting them out of paper and putting them down will help them to really get focused. And of course, that's just the first part. Then they've got to counter that anxiety with positive responses as well. So that's the first thing that kids can do. And another thing that they can do, you know, I've brought an apple along today, but that represents a healthy snack, you know, a healthy fruit or vegetable. You don't want your kids taking a test on an empty stomach. And you also want to avoid junk foods, which are high in sugar. They're stress foods, whereas a healthy fruit or snack can really alleviate stress a lot. So
your fish oil is great for the brain and helps with concentration. Have you found that too?
Absolutely, and there's a number of things, and I'll talk to that in a second. But of course, you want to also balance the healthy diet with good physical activity. Studies show that kids who are physically active generally score higher on tests as well.
Why do you suppose that is? Is it the oxygen rush that you get after you've been playing hard, or the endorphin rush, or what do you suppose that is?
I think it's a combination of things, but I think it's just general health. You know, a good night's sleep will also make a difference. It's hard to fall asleep sometimes when you've got a test coming up the next day that's really important to you. But you want to relax. You want to get a good 8-9 hours of sleep before you take a test as well. But to your point around the fish oils, also aromatherapy. There have been many studies that show aromatherapy can improve concentration and the ability for the brain to absorb information. So lighting a candle while you're studying will really help to retain information.
Isn't that interesting? This is mulberry. Does it matter what the scent is?
Yeah, well, you want scents like lavender, rosemary, those sorts of things.
So it doesn't. Yeah.
So on the day of the test, you can also, you know, take a little aromatherapy vial and just give it a little smell before the test, and that will relax the student and help them to focus and get all that hard work that they've done preparing for it, allow it to come out on the day of the test as well.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Anything else we should do?
Well, we've got lots of other things that we can do, but we can give you more information about the first aid kit on our website at tutordoctor.com as well.
The other neat thing about what you guys do specifically at Tutor Doctor is you've found that it's more beneficial when you go to the person's home to do the tutoring. Why is that?
Right. Well, at Tutor Doctor, we make house calls, and that's the idea behind it. Being able to sit down with that child, with that student, one-on-one, really allows us to focus on their challenges specifically, as opposed to a group setting where, you're using general curriculum, etc. So, going to their home, preparing for a test with a study buddy, with a parent, that collaboration also really helps in terms of preparation and discussing. And of course, a tutor is very beneficial in those circumstances as well.
Wonderful. I just feel so bad for kids who know it. They know the information. Yep. It's there, and yet for some reason they can't access it when they need it. So to have some of these really valuable tips and tools, really they're coping mechanisms, aren't they?
Absolutely. Fear, worry, doubt are very natural responses. So what we want to try and do is help our kids just to relax, be confident, of course be prepared, and be able to go into that test with a clear mind and also positive expectations, expecting to do well.
Is there anything, maybe one specific thing that kids tend to do a lot that gets them into trouble? Like maybe not taking good notes or something like that?
It's different things for different students. For some students, absolutely, it's not preparing well in terms of their study notes, etc. Some it's just not good study habits. Organizing a good workspace and a quiet environment, turning off the stereos, staying away from the video games. These things, they sound kind of obvious, but a lot of students, they just don't do it.
Wow, great information. Thank you so much. And you can go to the website, get more information on the anti-anxiety kit and tutoring in general, tutordoctor.com. When we come back, Glenn's going to be in the kitchen with Quinn's Steakhouse.